Hi everyone, this is Devlina, welcoming you all to another captivating episode of Icons Behind Brand. And today I have a special guest with me, Mr. Aalhad Wadekar, an accomplished marketing professional and category head at Gulf Oil Lubricants. With over 14 years of experience, Alhad has honed his leadership and individual contributor skills. From his colorful journey at Shalimar Paints to his current role in building a thriving category in the commercial vehicle lubricant segment, he brings a wealth of knowledge in the field of brand planning, marketing strategy, product management, communication, and advertising. So let's join with us as we welcome Mr. Alhad Wadkar. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Alhad.
Thanks, Devlina. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm obliged. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
And I'm so happy to have you here, Mr. Alhad. A very different category to discuss. Okay, so before we get into the category and getting into the marketing nitty gritty, so let's talk about your journey first. How it started and where you have reached. So let's talk about your journey and background.
Okay, that's an interesting one to start with, of course. So, yeah. Well, to start with, I was born in a place called Chandrapur.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually known for its tiger reserve, if you have heard of it, Tadoba. So it's a
Okay.
pretty popular destination when you for somebody who's a wildlife enthusiast. So I was born in
Mm-hmm.
Chandrapur. I
Okay.
did my primary and secondary schooling from that town itself,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously it was a small town that point in time. It was a district headquarter essentially,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and growing up there was quite a fun. Then I moved on to Nagpur,
Mm-hmm.
a dream city at that point in time for me. Of course, the only big city I could actually connect back with.
Mm-hmm.
That point in time, never thought that I would come to Mumbai and kind of settle down here. But yes, Nagpur is where I did my engineering and diploma.
Okay. Okay.
Again, made a lot of good friends. A lot of good
Mm-hmm.
friends. In fact, we used to run a music and so essentially a music band during my our
Okay.
diploma days.
So
So
music is
we
your interest area?
I used to host that. I
Oh,
was the host for the group.
wow.
So we had a gang of 5 to 6 guys. Each of
Mm-hmm.
them could play some instrument. I
Mm-hmm.
never had that chance, of course. So
Mm-hmm.
I possibly thought I am good at talking. So I took up the job of hosting that show.
Wow.
So we named that brand as Machine Dhamaka.
Machine
Okay, and
Dhamaka. Wow.
yes, so and that comes from we being a mechanical students. So
Okay.
we thought that it's something, and we are into some music and creating something. So we said that we are creating a blast at that point in time is
Okay.
what we thought.
Okay.
So that's how we curated the name Machine Dhamaka. Fortunately, that group still exists. Of course, we don't now. Obviously, everyone is busy in their own lives,
Mm-hmm.
but that group still exists. And then
Mm-hmm.
whenever we get chance, we try to kind of gel on those fond memories that we had.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then I, of course, moved to Mumbai, the
Okay.
bigger city, the city of dreams,
Mm.
and I did my management from Mumbai,
Okay.
and I got into my first job
Mm-hmm.
into this company called Shalimar Paints Limited.
Okay.
It's the paint company.
Mm-hmm.
So I've spent very very good 5 years there.
Mm-hmm.
Had learned since it was my first job, and we were
Mm-hmm.
the three management trainees who were hired that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
We were, and it was a small setup, honestly, Devlina.
Okay.
It wasn't a big corporate that point in time.
Okay.
So how I see that as being advantageous to me was that we
Mm-hmm.
actually got a hang of a lot of things. So
Okay.
just three of us doing a lot many aspects in the
Mm-hmm.
marketing or trade marketing or the sales field.
So
So we
it's
kind of
not just one thing you are doing. So as
not
a trainee
yeah,
also you
yeah,
have done a lot.
yes.
Wow.
So as a trainee, we could get hang of a lot of things that otherwise, typically you don't get that chance to expose yourself to. So
Right.
that was my learning years, good learning years for 5 years in
Mm-hmm.
Shalimar Paints.
Mm-hmm.
Then almost for a decade plus time, I'm with Gulf Oil Lubricants India Limited.
Okay.
So this is the company that I'm currently working for. So 12 plus years here for me,
Mm-hmm.
where I've joined as an assistant product manager,
Mm-hmm.
managing the tractor engine oil lubricants.
Mm-hmm.
To now today, I'm actually managing a personal mobility segment for the company. So I was a category head for diesel engine oil segment,
Okay.
uh, and now I have moved to another new function or another new role of category head for personal mobility, which
Okay.
is essentially to do with two-wheelers and four-wheelers lubricants.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the whole journey. If I have to put it, long answer, of course, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
journey, right? I mean, so I thought it deserves little elaboration.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And as you were saying, so I have also realized, and I have realized in with my journey as well, that uh, during the initial days of life,
Hmm.
and the same goes when you start your career as well. If you are exposed to various verticals and various domains of experiences and exposure, this could be challenging at that time, but it is very much rewarding for your life in the long run, I feel.
Absolutely right, Devlina. You said it right.
Yeah. So that's what, and the same rules of life I applies in the rules of career and professional as well. So as you said, you have got an opportunity to work on various segments in Shalimar Pens. So as an intern and as a fresher, if somebody is getting that kind of opportunity, so I feel that is a privilege for anybody to go on and explore and learn how the functions
Yes.
works in businesses.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true.
Awesome.
I
Okay.
would say I was lucky, seriously.
Yes, yes. It's pretty interesting and enriching. Yeah. So as we coming to Gulf Oil India, okay, so it's in the commercial lubricants, right? Commercial vehicle lubricants. So let me just understand a little more on the target audience side. Who are the typical target audience for Gulf Oil India, and what are the marketing channels and platforms do you find most effective to reaching and engaging those target audiences at this point of time?
Okay. Uh, say just I'm just correcting you. We're not only into the commercial vehicle lubricants per se. I used to handle that as a category. But
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the whole business for Gulf Oil Lubricants India Limited, we are a MNC.
Mm-hmm.
We have a presence across 70 odd countries, so, and we report into Gulf Oil International as a business
Okay.
entity
Okay.
from India.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is based out of UK.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's a Hinduja Group company. We have crossed 3,000 crore as a turnover this year, a big
Wow.
milestone for the
Yes.
company.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you look at Gulf Oil per se, we are catering to different audiences,
Okay.
different business segment per se. So
Mm-hmm.
broadly speaking, typically when you look at a lubricant sector or lubricant company, we
Mm-hmm.
are into automotive lubrication,
Mm-hmm.
which is the consumer automotive side that you typically see, which includes trucks, buses, tractors, passenger
Mm-hmm.
cars, and two-wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
Broadly, these are the five categories that the subcategories that you would typically look at when you talk about automotive lubrication. If I have to tell you which are the platforms that we have been using, if I go back to about 3 or 4 years
Mm-hmm.
from now, I could clearly see that digital mediums have evolved, digital platforms have evolved as the key platforms that we have been using
Mm-hmm.
to reach out to our target audience.
Okay.
And obviously, you're fairly aware about how this whole mobile penetration had helped, really accelerate this whole adoption of
Digital.
digital in India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we clearly see even for the industry. It has helped us
Mm-hmm.
sharp target our customer segments,
Mm-hmm.
because nowadays, if you really ask me, I see everyone, literally everyone today uses mobile, and
Yes.
everyone is on the mobile doing some or other thing. So
Yeah,
I think
almost all the
that's
time.
the yes, almost all the time. So I think these are the things that we've also observed, um, and we have worked towards it. So if I have to give you few examples, from the automotive segment, and the segment that I was heading, of course,
Mm-hmm.
commercial lubricants. So
Mm-hmm.
we deal with truckers. You know,
Okay.
yeah, it's if you really look at trucker as an audience,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's a difficult guy to reach out to.
Very true.
So obviously he's always on the move. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so targeting him via television is kind of a challenging ask,
It
if
is
you
not
ask
going to
me.
make sense.
Yeah, it's not going to make much of a sense, and even same is the case with radio,
Yeah.
because he travels across state
Sip.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from one station to another, which is
Mm-hmm.
easily 3 to 400 kilometers away.
Yes.
So I can't keep buying a lot of spots on different radio channels, and also music is a very individual preference.
Oh, yeah.
So that was one of the
Mm-hmm.
one of the thing that we were kind of evaluating, that how do, while I have the product which is suitable for his vehicle, which is truck,
Mm-hmm.
but then how do we reach out to this guy?
Yeah.
And after meeting a lot of them, we realized that okay, these guys are also evolving as what
Mm-hmm.
we see what is happening around us.
Mm-hmm.
So we identified mobile is the medium
Okay.
where we can possibly reach out to this guy. And with that thought in mind, we have launched the first of its kind, on demand radio platform. It's a
Okay.
information come entertainment platform.
Mm-hmm.
We call it Jamura Station.
Oh,
So
okay.
so it's a very very interesting platform that we've curated,
Mm-hmm.
where a trucker need to just dial in a number. It's a toll
Okay.
free number,
Mm-hmm.
and he can listen to the content that we have been producing.
Okay.
And this content typically has been in the genres of suspense, thriller,
Mm-hmm.
or a comedy. So
Okay.
something that kind of keeps him hooked, something that
Mm-hmm.
possibly keeps him little stress free,
Mm-hmm.
because this guy is typically very very stressed. So
Yeah.
we actually also took a lot of cues from that insight, that how do I kind of bring little more relief
Mm-hmm.
to this guy. So when we found that in India today, entertainment is something that we could provide to this guy on the go. So we
Mm-hmm.
are curating a lot of entertaining content for him,
Okay.
some stories that he could possibly like to listen while he's on the go.
Mm-hmm.
And we also plugged in a lot of music. So again,
Okay.
music, because it cuts across most of the generations. So we
Mm-hmm.
identified that. So it's a show that we host on
Mm-hmm.
that toll free number, which is
Mm-hmm.
about 8 to 10 minute kind of a episode.
Mm-hmm.
So where there are a couple of songs which are played, and then there are stories. And the beauty of that platform is he can actually listen to a lot of old content.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so we have also started curating a lot of now, some quizzes into it, some more fun and some more engagement for this guy, for the
Mm-hmm.
trucker, so that we try and engage. It becomes a two-way medium rather than
Mm-hmm.
we just talking to him.
Awesome.
So yeah, today we have about 50 or thousand truckers on that platform listening
Oh.
to us. So that's the kind of innovation which was made possible because of mobile and the whole internet thing that has happened.
And how long
So
this particular platform has been there in the system?
yeah, so we've launched this about 3 years back.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
within three
so
years,
we
50,000 truck.
50,000 truckers
Wow,
we've been able to reach
awesome.
out to.
So
Yeah,
good.
so that's something which is very close to my heart, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we could curate. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's the thing that we are doing at Gulf Oil.
I think it's pretty interesting, Mr. Alhad. I mean, how you have reached out to the truckers. Jamura Station is station or station?
It is station.
Station, okay.
Yes, it is Jamura Station.
The name is also very interesting, and the concept is also interesting. When you said truckers, so I was thinking about radio. Okay, but then you have just clarified there is a challenge of changing the borders,
Frequencies. Yeah.
different states. So it's pretty it's not possible to keep changing the radio stations and keep changing your messages and advertising according to the regions, right? So I think
True. True.
curating a platform like this, where you are not only just sending the advertisement, but also uh, giving them what they need at this
Yeah.
right. So I think it's a pretty unconventional, at the same time it's just bang on marketing strategy
Yeah,
in terms of
that's what we
marketing
think,
strategy.
honestly.
Yeah.
That's what we think, honestly. Let's see how it shapes up. So we have some amazing ideas for the platform. Of course, I can't discuss much
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
hopefully, if it happens, would certainly catch up with you again, and then we could discuss how that journey has also been.
Definitely.
So
So now
let's
I'm
see.
more interested. I'm looking forward for what's coming in. Now that I know about this Jamura Station, and it is one of the highlight of today, probably for me. So I've got something. Okay,
Yes.
so with that, we will move into another questions on. As you said, you spoke about digital, acceptance and evolvement of the digital side of the marketing. Okay, so how do you see the future of marketing from here?
Ah, I would certainly say it is great. I am a believer that marketing as a genre or marketing as a function is kind of evolving in India. And why I say it that way is because we as a country haven't really produced a lot of brands, a lot of homegrown brands. Okay, we still have a lot of cases coming in from abroad. The Coke of the world, the Mac of the world,
Oh yeah.
and very recently Apple as well has been spoken a lot. Yes, there are Reliance, there are Tatas who have been spoken about when it comes to India. But if I really look at the journey, it is more person centric today rather than the brand specific. So we have personalities who's evolved as icon, starting with Mahatma Gandhi, of course, and then all those great leaders that the country has produced. So that's why I think marketing has a very very bright future, and with the help of digital, I think this is the time to be in marketing. While it is getting more
Wow.
complicated, it is getting complicated certainly, but if you look at it from a perspective that there are immense opportunities that exist, you would seriously see that oh, I need to be in marketing today.
Yeah.
So it's that space which is what I'm talking about. So technology has been an enabler, and you have to look at it from that angle, that it has been helping marketeers know consumers comparatively better these days. You know their interest points, you know their hobbies. You're actually kind of curating the personality of an individual at a back end.
Wow.
I think that never existed earlier, and it is only going to get better and better. So there is this whole talk of AI, machine
Yeah.
learning,
Yeah.
data mining, and everything. What it will help is, um, you know, help the marketeer or the organization is to take better calls. I think that's how I see marketing as a field possibly would evolve. So you may be little better of knowing what is the real pain point that the consumer has, and I could then curate far better solutions,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be little more, little more aware about its success matrices,
Mm-hmm.
if I have to put it that way. I think that is what would happen. You would have more sharper insights, more sharply produced solutions, which is good for consumers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a great responsibility that we could shoulder
Yeah.
together as a marketing team. And I think, yeah, the future seems bright.
Yeah, and when you said that this is the most interesting time to be in the marketing domain, so it fills me with so much excitement. I mean, we can sense the excitement. We can sense the changes, how rapidly it is changing, and so many interesting technologies are coming on its way, and the way marketing is taking a different shape, so it's pretty interesting, and I feel this is the best time to be in this domain, and I feel
Yeah,
very excited about that. Yeah.
true.
Okay. So as a leader, as a very as in into the very senior position, so what steps do you take continuously to develop your leadership skills and stay ahead of the curve?
Interesting question. uh, I would say, firstly, one need to be very clear that you are leader not because of the chair that you hold. You need to be a leader in the eyes of your team members. So you need to be that aspirational guy.
Yes.
Once you are clear about it, I think that is the important thing, I believe, because rest of the things could fall in place then. uh, while I say that, it's also important for a leader to understand what is it that is expected out of a team.
Mhm.
What is the requirement of a job, what is the skill set that the team players has, and then you try and fit those jigsaws.
Mhm.
uh, and that's again, so knowing what is it that one's supposed to do, knowing your own skill set, your team skill set, and how do you marry them together
Mhm.
is kind of a important thing when it comes to a leadership. uh, Another aspect that I try and practice, of course, is that I try and give a lot of space, because as a leader, I need to be accommodative. As a leader, I need to be clear that it's the opportunities,
Mhm.
which I need to present to my teams, opportunity to contribute, to learn,
Mhm.
to contribute towards the whole cause that the organization is chasing. And also very very important is to recognize and applaud those
Yeah.
successes of your team members. I think that is very very critical, because a lot of us don't appreciate each other as much.
Yeah.
So that's something that I believe, as a leader, is a must. And I try and practice these things, and whenever there is a challenge that I'm facing, I try
Mhm.
and talk to my superiors, I talk to my mentors, whom I've
Mhm.
met throughout my journey.
Mhm.
So listening is an important trait for a leader.
Mhm.
Sometimes listening to your teams itself gives a lot of solutions.
Right.
You identify that, okay, this could be the reason why things are not shaping up, and then you could come back and you could pose the challenge to your own teams as to,
Mhm.
can we crack this code.
Yeah.
So I think that is important. So these are some of the aspect, I think, Devlina, are important. And I try and practice. I don't consider myself to be a leader, honestly. It's the only time would tell, if I have to put it that way. Because I need to be seen as a leader from my team's perspective, is what
I
I'm a
think
firm
I think
believer.
that's a great perspective. I mean,
Yeah.
leader is not
So
that the chair, but it's like how
yeah,
your team and
how you, yeah, are you able to motivate? Are you able to bring those aspirations in the
Mhm.
team?
Mhm.
Set those goals and make them work towards them. I think that is something which defines a leader.
Yeah,
And you need to be a good listener,
true.
good mentor at the
Yeah.
same time. I think these
And
are the
and yeah, that is the most challenging part also
it
for
is
a leader.
also a most challenging part. Yeah. So that's where you also need to go back. You also need to go back when you are facing a hurdle.
Hmm.
There's no point in contemplating, should I ask, should I not ask.
Oh yeah.
I think you kind of waste time there. And thankfully for me, one of the key person that I often go back to is my wife.
Oh,
She's a
glad.
human resource person, and she's
Awesome.
also a certified counselor.
Hmm.
So yeah, I try and go back to her. I try and go back to a lot of my mentors,
Mm-hmm.
and just try and understand their perspective of the situation.
Wow.
And yeah, that's the again learning that I try and implement. So that's my mantra, if I have to put it that way. That's my mantra to kind of remain ahead of the curve. And
Yeah.
again, very importantly, little philosophical you may find it, but
Mm-hmm.
staying ahead of the curve doesn't really mean that I need to be first. uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what I meant, or I should comprehend when you are saying that being ahead of the curve. So the race is with myself, it's not with anyone. The race is with me, how I'm as a leader trying to improve.
Hmm.
So that's the part I try and follow more.
It's like becoming the better version of yourself.
Absolutely right, absolutely
Right.
right.
So with that, we are moving to a very interesting section called rapid fire round.
Oops.
Yeah, the rules are
Okay.
simple. The rules are
Hmm,
you need
hmm.
to answer either in one word or as minimum as possible. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so I
we'll
need to
start.
talk less.
Yeah,
That's fun for me.
pretty much true.
Yeah.
So let's start it, and it is going to help our viewers to know you as a person a bit more through these questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start. What has been your favorite age so far? Age.
Right now.
Awesome. I love this
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
What is your favorite work memory?
When we vaccinated a trucker
Mm-hmm.
during one of the programs that we curated for Gulf Oil.
Okay.
This was, yeah, I just like to elaborate a bit here, not using lot many words, of course,
Mm-hmm.
is because we realized that this guy, while
Mm-hmm.
he's working tirelessly at a back end,
Mm-hmm.
was never given the importance that he deserved.
Okay.
So he was actually a frontline guy, if you
Okay.
really look at it retrospectively. So he
Mm-hmm.
was the guy who's providing all the vaccines to all of us,
Okay.
but he was struggling to get a vaccine.
Okay.
So we curated a nice program. We have a property called Gulf Superfleet Suraksha Bandhan, which
Mm-hmm.
talks about protection.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was the opportunity that we had to vaccinate a trucker, because the whole world was talking about COVID se suraksha. So it
Yeah.
also gelled very well with the ethos of a brand. So it was
Mm-hmm.
very satisfying. Trust me, it was very satisfying when I met truckers in one of these camps, and they were very happy to receive this vaccination. And yeah, that I think, seeing that satisfaction or seeing that relief on your consumer face is, I think, it's the best. That's the best
Awesome.
work memory I have.
Super. Yeah, that's actually a pretty nice one. So, what has changed the most since you have started working here?
I think my perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
they have become broader and
Wow.
more richer.
Mm-hmm. Super. What advice would you give an employee on their first day of work?
True, be true to yourself.
Yeah, extremely
Yeah.
important. So, if you could not work in this industry, what profession would you pursue?
Mm. I would be most likely. running a non-profit organization,
Hmm.
social entrepreneurship
Awesome. When are you most productive?
with my team.
So that's the high.
Yeah,
Okay.
together
What?
we achieve more, right?
That's true. I believe the same that when we are alone, we look very strong, but when we are alone, we almost are zero. But when we are together, we can do wonders.
Yeah.
Right. What would you change about yourself?
Uh, I think I would like to be more humble.
Mhm. Okay. So
Yeah,
the next is also in line. What advice would you give to your younger self?
be patient. Everything has a time.
That's true. That's extremely important. So with that, we are out of the rapid fire round. And before we
Okay.
wind up the conversation, I want you to talk, to our audience who are majorly aspiring marketing professional. So what would be your message for aspiring marketing professionals?
Okay. At a cost of repetition, I would say that, you know your consumers. I
Mhm.
think that's the most important thing, uh, which you need to be aware of when you get into marketing as a profession.
Okay.
uh, Understand what are his pain points, understand what is his journey, what is his behavior. Try to go beyond a person.
Mhm.
Don't also look at it from a lens that, okay, he's my consumer. Look at
Mhm.
him as a human being.
Mhm.
When we started changing our perspective in that fashion, we came across the insight, as far as truckers are concerned, that trucker is a brother too.
Oh yeah.
He's
Awesome.
also a brother. Yeah.
Mhm.
So and then we have curated this whole Suraksha Bandhan property, which is nothing but is a property which coincides with Raksha Bandhan. So
Mhm.
we made it Suraksha Bandhan, and that's where the insight came. Is, yeah, trucker is also a brother. I mean,
Awesome.
I have to look at him from a brother's perspective. So
Mhm.
he's just like us, any of us.
Mhm.
He has the same aspirations. The scale could differ, but he of course want to buy a house, educate his kids. So
Mhm.
everything is just the same as what you and me would aspire to be, to be
Mhm.
doing. So I think we need to kind of remove that lens, if I have to put it that way, that ये मेरा consumer है, से ज्यादा ये एक मैं human being से मिलने जा रहा हूँ. I think that's
Hmm.
more
More
important.
important.
That's one, my single line message to aspiring marketing professionals, that know your consumer as a human being,
Mhm.
and I think a lot many doors could open.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's a great perspective, Alhad. Consumer is fine, but consumer is a human is opening one more, what I say, that is actually opening a different perspective in your mind. Okay, that particular consumer whom we are, giving a term with so and so persona, but that is a
Yeah.
human, and I'm just going to meet that another human being. That itself
Yes.
is, bringing a different perspective altogether for this.
Yep. Yep.
Superb. Superb, Alhar. It was amazing talking to you. A great perspective and quite engaging conversation. I have thoroughly enjoyed each and every questions and each and every answer of yours. And yeah, thank you for being here. So I'm
My
glad you
pleasure.
agreed for it and you made it for it.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot, Devlina and the team at Icons Behind Brands. It was a great pleasure, and thanks for having me here. Uh, I enjoyed the interview thoroughly.
Awesome.
The questions were really, really interesting. Again, it actually, kind of, uh, you know, gave me that time to really pause and
Mhm.
look at my own journey and look
Yeah.
at me as an individual.
Yeah.
So I am 100% sure I am also taking back something which I'm sure would come in very, very handy for me.
So
And great time for last almost 1 hour. I think we are
1 hour.
conversing, but
Yeah,
I never felt it that way.
even me.
So you made me very, very comfortable. I think that's something that you certainly have as a skill set.
Thank you,
So
Mr. Lad. And
thanks a
and
lot.
I have enjoyed a lot, I mean, ask me
Yeah,
that even I have not felt it was 1 hour, and it was so engaging.
yeah. So thanks a lot. Looking forward to we connecting maybe in person whenever I'm there in
Sure.
Bangalore,
Yeah,
and maybe we could speak little more.
definitely. We have a lot
Yeah.
more coming up on Icons Behind Brand, and I'm sure you're going to come for another episode. So I'm looking forward towards it.
Thanks a lot. My pleasure.